Hey guys, welcome to the Rock and Road Show. Here's another piece I have today of another antique, Southwestern silver turquoise, and I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people don't know, or they don't like it, they don't understand it, they mislabel it, call it all kinds of weird, wild, hairy stuff. Unbelievable to me, because a Ford is always a Ford and a Chevy is always a Chevy. And with Native American antique silver jewelry or the newer stuff, it is what it is. If it's made by Navajo, it's Navajo. If it's Zuni, it's Zuni. It's not anything else. You can't take a Ford part and shove it on a Chevy. It doesn't work that way. With Native American Indian jewelry, there were certain aspects and designs and shapes and sizes and things that they did that was indicative to their tribe. Like a Chevy. A Chevy kind of sort of always looks like a Chevy. It's kind of square, kind of boxy. It doesn't really have rounded edges. That's just how they are. So with this piece here, I want to talk about a couple different things that people don't know, and they get online like an expert, and to me, they're a complete fucking dumbass. Yeah, they shouldn't even be online. This shape here is called the basket. Anytime that there were several pieces and they were taken and put together to make a cuff with airspace in between, holes in between where you can see, sometimes they used bar silver or what looks like it was a piece of bar silver. That's called a basket cuff. It has the shape of a basket. That's where that came from. It didn't come from anything else. It's not called anything else. That's what it is. This here, this particular one, because these stones are kind of inset down inside this entire top here, this whole top piece, I just got bit by a bug again. This whole top piece up here, that's a rectangle shape, and it has a black background, which to me actually also looks a little smoked. But it's probably from age and from dirt. I mean, because Chimney Butte wasn't around then, but I suppose it could have been smoked, because I'm sure there was a few people who did smoke their silver. Because this stuff is set down in a shadow box, this is probably not Navajo. Also, these bezels are not what's called a crown bezel that jumps up and down with like little triangles coming around. I don't have one on me right now, right this second, to show you that type of design. But it would look like the crown you put on your head if you were king or queen. These are round and soft bezels going the whole way around. It's very Zuni. So is the background, being deep down in, deep set, and everything set down inside that rectangle. That's a shadow box, and the shadow box was indicative of the Zuni. So I'm kind of guessing, this is pretty old, I'm thinking this could very well be a Zuni piece, even though I bought it in a Navajo area. But the Native American Indians were traders for a really long time. They bought and sold and traded back and forth, on and off with each other. And sometimes the Spaniards, and sometimes the Turkish, and sometimes Moroccan, and sometimes Chinese. I mean, if you read history and think about it, Native American Indians have been on the North American continent for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. And the North American continent was visited by many Egyptians and Vikings and Spanish and Jesuit, everybody. So they bought, sold, and traded. I'm trying to hurry up before it gets too dark to show you the rest of this. I think that this one is pretty old. I've already sold this to a client. This one's not available. It's already been sold. By the time you see this video, it's been sold and shipped. But I do still have a few available. on my eBay, which is TequilasunTrading, all one word, capital T's. These stones are a little bit worn, a little bit fractured, and that tells me age. I don't think they were brutalized, beaten, and abused. I think that they were just because they were old. These particular ones here are 3 different colors. You see how this one's super light blue? It's almost like a Manassa, King's Manassa. That mine changed its name a couple of times. It's up in Colorado. I've been there. Manassa, Colorado. This one here is very beautiful, even though it's old and it's kind of gotten darker. That's pretty cool though. When they get that patina, it's a completely different strata, and it's a completely different color, and it's a completely different kind. And I'm not sure, because I've already explained to you in another video that turquoise is a mineral. It gets very dry, it dissipates, and then just washes down the river somewhere, washes down the dirt. It goes away. This one here has to be cured and fed periodically, and I've already done that with this one for years to keep it in there. It's another reason why it's so smooth and nice. The third stone is also a completely different type from a different mine. These don't have fancy mine names because turquoise gets mined out, and there really isn't a big, a normal. There's a couple of mines you can almost always tell it's that particular mine. Like if it has silver in it, it's usually a Morenci. If it has gold in it, it's usually Eagle Mine from Nevada. I'm gonna have an Eagle Mine piece up for sale pretty soon. Once I pull it out of the bank vault and I work on it, it's not gonna be cheap, but it is gonna be turquoise with gold. Real deal. The sides here have tiny little hammer marks, and actually this particular pattern was used on horse bridles. Yes. And this silver is also unmarked. It's so old it has no maker's mark. And I can look deep down inside and I can see how hot they got it, how they made it, and that tells me also age. Then on the cuff tips were done a certain way by certain tribes, yep, at certain times in history. The cuff tips on this tell me also some other stuff by its quality, who made it, how they made it. See the drop of silver right down in there in the center? A little bit of hot silver dropped right there. They used a very tiny solder, very tiny tool. This silver tells me a lot about it and a lot about its age. I guessed this one to be approximately 1900s because the basket was very popular. The shadow box is a rectangle shape. The bezels are round. The stones are really old, from old mines or old colors, and worn like they're old, and they're gemmed. I didn't explain that in another video, and I want to do this here real quick. If you could feel and almost see this one here, it's almost as smooth as glass. It's really cool. It's really hard. That's called gemmed. That stone has been through so much rubbing and finger oil or wrist oil or lotions or soaps that it's actually given it a buff across the top like a fine gem. It's called gemmed. Gemmed turquoise is extremely hard to find. You don't see it very often because they tend to dry out. That brings me to my next subject before I make this video too long. There's a way to feed your stones when they crack. The Native American Indian way, I usually only tell my clients. If you're watching this video, I will tell you, you can take a clear oil or some type of clear grease, not Crisco, not yellow Vaseline, not a yellow oil. You want clear as much as possible and with no coloration. And you want to rub your turquoise once in a great while like a pearl or an opal, because they dry out. They'll break, fracture, crack, and just fall apart and go back to nature. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It'll go back to God. So on this one here, you want to put some clear on it and then wrap it in some plastic so it can soak in, so you can keep it for forever. This one has started to gem because I fed it for years and took really good care of it. I took really good care of this piece for a long time. There's no maker's mark. Maker's marks got real popular about the 1930s. About that, because the government started getting on the butt of all the Indians to start regulating and being perfect, and I mean, cracking the whip of rules, and they wanted them to do this, they wanted them to do that, they wanted them to do all kinds of stuff and start putting stamps in that say whether they were sterling or not. I also wanted to tell you that old silver gets a funny kind of a gray color to it. Not quite like pewter, but almost. And that's a natural patina of the silver that only happens once they're about 100 years old. Right. So that also tells me age. That also tells me, and I think this one's about 100 years old easy. So I think that's about it on this one. And I've talked to you about some other stuff on the other pieces. So if you take a look at the other pieces and my other videos, that'll give you some more interesting, different information. Here we go here. I'm running out of light though. You can see the strata. You can see how these are completely different rocks. Oh, past, present, future. That came along later, not when this was originally made, but the Native American Indians always had a saying about past, present, future, or three stone in an item, past, present, future. It means it all happens now, and we have to wake up, we have to pay attention, and if we don't take care of that, we won't have it. Thank you for watching my channel. Make sure to click and subscribe. I don't have very many followers. Help me out here and you can see some more videos like this.